Hey, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to our collective reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. Interact with the channel in any way you want. Emojis, like, subscribes. Those big. Those are nice. Yeah, no scrying ball today, but we're going to get started. I've got the Urban Crow Oracle deck. I got two decks out that I'm a little scared of because neither one of them shies away from difficult messages. So, guess I'm feeling brave today. All right. Okay. This one fell on the floor. All right. All right. Taking the one on the floor first. Wrath. Yep. So, it seems maybe a little unexpected. Yeah, anger, group anger, frustration. A lot of upset here. I don't know if I'm seeing wrath so much as upset. Somebody's very upset. The peace has been disturbed here. Something upsetting, anger, some very unpleasant emotions. And maybe that's part of the message today, is that I was feeling very capable of handling some unpleasant messages, some unpleasant emotions. Wasn't afraid of, handling the hot potato. So I pulled out two oracle decks that are known for having some hot potatoes in there. But then what's interesting here too is we have trust. We have this peanut here being offered and this hesitancy. So wrath and trust. Trust, was a trust betrayed? Of course you would be angry. I mean, the trust came out first. But the wrath was on the floor, which is like I like the floor ones. They seem like they're very sure that they want to be out here and be talking. But I almost want to say trust your anger. If you're angry about something or something's very upsetting, there's something that's true. Don't pretend you're not feeling that way. Have the courage to look at those feelings and those emotions, even if they're towards people that it's uncomfortable for you to feel that way towards. So either a trust has been betrayed here, or trust your feelings. And if you're angry about something, don't dismiss that. Maybe there's also like a sense of like, I'm seeing the storm clouds in the background here, these darker clouds. And maybe there's a sense of coming out of this type of thing and maybe learning how to trust, or struggling to trust what's on offer here because of all of this background of anger and frustration and difficulty. And so that's also true, that's very difficult to come out of that. And then, come from a place of upset into a place where you can trust what's being offered. You can trust the people around you. You can trust that this peanut's a peanut. It's not like a cyanide encased little shell. Like it's true. So there's some sort of dance between trust and upset, and we have to trust at some point. Not maybe the same people, but it's a very difficult energy. Trying to figure out how to trust. Maybe we can get clarification. I'm using Fire Dragon, no, Tiger Breathing Bears Oracle deck. Another Oracle deck that does not shy away from hefty topics. So maybe we can get some clarification here. So we have together, hold on. Okay. Well, we have together. We have this walking together, being together, diversity themes. We have leaders from two different realms. One is, they are both, what's interesting is we have umbrellas in both of these symbols of protection. Protecting what's valuable, boundaries and limits together, and country church. These boundaries and these limits. So it's with somebody, you're working with somebody here. Maybe we're also talking, there are limits to trust. Like we can trust, yes, right? We can trust, but there are limits. You do need to protect yourself here. And then this country church, this is interesting. This looks like the church I grew up in. It seems like a really trusting place, like a place where, you know, there's not a bunch of like big, loud preachers trying to get ahead, trying to make a name for themselves. It seems like a simple place where there was quite a bit of trust. It seems like an easy place to trust, you know, good salt of the earth people out there in the country. This is not true. But, you know, they like to build up that reputation. They're not big city slickers. They're just simple. This is not true. But there's protection and working together with somebody else. But there is faith. There is trust. Yeah, I knew these cards would be a little difficult altogether. Altogether, these two cards. One's, yeah. So, but there's definitely, here's what we know. There's something about needing to protect yourself, needing to protect other people, perhaps needing to offer that sense of protection. There are boundaries, there are limits to our trust. It doesn't go on forever. But there's also this sense of commitment here. There's a commitment to working with somebody else, but also establishing boundaries and limits to how much trust you're going to be able to put in this other person and how much protection they can actually provide. This person may not be able to provide protection for two people, maybe 1.5. I mean, this one's kind of out there in the forefront, but they've also got like the trident. There's a real like Poseidon vibe. There's a real like multicultural vibe here going on, and people wearing different hats, people having roles to play as they work together. But one person's very protective while the other person has more of a warrior mentality. The protective person is providing boundaries and limits, and it may be that there's two people together that are creating boundaries for some other force, right? Like, so this seems to be like there's somebody you trust in this situation, and you can work together with that person for something that does feel upsetting and discombobulating, and you need protection. There's a sense of protecting yourself with boundaries and limits. Boundaries and limits, but there's also people you can trust in this process. Okay, and then we're going to work with White Sage Tarot. This should sort of bring the energy into a little bit more of an easier space, hopefully. All right, so cutting the deck here. From the bottom of the deck, underlying the devil, I'll say, we got some devil energy here. Here's a snake, it's coiled up. It's sleeping. There's temptation present. There's risk present. Yeah, this devil energy. Yeah, that is right. This is what I see. This wrath, this needing protection, this maybe even betrayed safe space where you were feeling trusting and you were feeling good in that space it's not betrayed. It's under attack. you like protection is needed. So this maybe this safe space where you felt really good, really at home, there's something in it. There is an attack in it, on a safe space that you are protecting yourself from. You need to shield yourself and your safe space and the people that you do trust. This devil energy, oh wow, it is so, there is something amiss within your sanctuary. There's a sanctuary and there is something amiss here. You need to very much protect yourself. Okay, I think we got that message. Okay, but the devil just showing up here opens a whole can of worms all over again, or can of snakes. But there's something in your sanctuary, in your safe space, where you trust, or it's not in it. It's attack. It's coming in. Protect yourself. Keep your sanctuary. Your sanctuary. It's going to take some effort. Past, whoa, that's not right. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Holy pentacles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pentacles here. 2 cups cards. This could have to do with money. You may be needing to be very, very guarding of your money. Or something about money has been just sort of a thorn in your side, a difficulty. And it's saying you haven't been as protective as you could have been. Maybe, yeah. So in the recent past, 10 of Pentacles, you've achieved something. I love that these are sand dollars. This is a new deck to me, and I just could not be more happier that the Pentacles are actually sand dollars. I wrote papers in college about sand dollars. I'm just madly in love with sand dollars. So 10 of Pentacles, you've achieved something. It was fabulous. It was fun. And then seeing like the team pyramid, you know, yay, we did it. Very solid base. Lots to celebrate here. So something was very successful. A good celebration. Everybody was like in a good mood. There was lots of abundance there. It was great. Current situation, we have 6 of Pentacles, fair. Okay, so you were fairly compensated. Balance is coming into the picture. There was really good give and take. Like, I want to say also too here, like everybody knew their roles. Like we did something together, everybody knew their roles. Everybody knew what they were doing. And there's also a sense of the rainbow overhead here. In both of these, this sort of peace after a storm, this promises being made. That's what rainbows always remind me of. Promises being made, being covered by some sort of promised situation. And then the 6 of Pentacles here with these, it's balanced, it's fair. And there's like karmic justice that's part of the 6 of Pentacles. Like something is here, some kind of kindness is here, and it's balancing things out. It comes to fairness and balance, and worth and value are equal or becoming equal. So the current situation is that there's really good give and take. There's trust. There's reasons to trust in a situation, because it is being fairly compensated. Maybe there was a very successful thing that was done, and now we're divvying up the goods, or, it's fair, everyone's being treated fairly, or there's some sort of quest to balance things out. And then we have but with the Devil here, it hasn't always been that way. Maybe you've done a really good job with something. You've been really successful. Something was very successful. And like you're getting paid for that, but maybe it took a long time. Or you haven't been fairly compensated for something. Like this Devil here is there's temptation. And maybe you're struggling with temptation. Maybe it's financial temptations. Maybe Yeah. All right, so we're just going to move on. 10 of Wands. So 10 of Wands is you're hoping that something's over. You're hoping to not carry this anymore, this burden. The Six of Pentacles definitely looks like justice, but it's not with a capital J. It's justice, fairness, rightness, balance. That's the current situation, is balance. Everything feels well balanced right now. But this 10 of Wands, you're hoping that something's over, which is interesting because it's after the Six of Pentacles, where it's like everything's getting balanced, and you're maybe hopeful that you can just put that down, put that to rest. You don't have to worry about this anymore. That, you know, tie it up with a bow and put it down, put it put it away in the storage unit, put it, give it away, like tie it all up in a bow. We did this project. It's over. I don't want to work on this anymore. I don't need to do this. I don't need to worry about this anymore. You don't want to worry about something anymore. With all these pentacles here, could be work, could be time management. You just don't want to work on, you want to like tie it up in a bow and put it away. Don't worry about it anymore. It's done. We finished that project. It's over. So you'd like to be done with something. You'd like to not worry about it anymore, not have to worry about it anymore. And what's the issue here is Four of Pentacles. A lack of security. And I'd say with all the pentacles here, I feel free in saying like a lack of financial security. Not being able to hold on to your money. And maybe it is this devil, this temptation that's always coming in here. That's here. And, you know, it's got this apple, this thing you really want, but you have to kind of, this thing that you want, it's not exactly the safest situation. We have a snake here. It's not safe. Something's not very safe. This Four of Pentacles, you could be feeling like you're hemorrhaging money, you're losing money, you're not able to hold on to what you have. Time is escaping you, it's moving too fast. It's like on the one hand, we want our finances, our money, and our time to not be like stuck and in, you know, trapped. Like it's like if you had a bunch of like big assets, they're all now liquid assets, and somehow and now that they're liquid, they're like flowing. You've got a sieve here. Like it's like all these frozen assets or whatever are now liquid, and they're now just pouring through the sieve, which was a great, like this thing with holes in it was super great for like carrying solid items. You know, you've got like a little mesh bag you take to the beach, and it's got your towels and your drinks in it, and the sand kind of flows through, right? But once you start trying to carry water with this, once the towel turns into water, once the drink is out of its container, it just flows through. So that's what it's feeling like with this Four of Pentacles, is things that could be maybe overly solid, maybe have been solid, are actually like pouring out. And sometimes the holidays does feel like a hemorrhaging money, but there's this sense of it's not bound. Something is not bound to you and is slipping through your fingers. You'd like to not worry about it anymore. Like, okay, yeah, that's right. That's great. But there's the Four of Pentacles is a lack of security, and not, a lack of protection. Because normally with the Four of Pentacles, you're like, oh, it's mine, mine, mine. This is a lack of protection. Something is not as protected as you'd like. And it could easily be money or something like that. Or maybe even a relationship with this together thing is not as secure. It does not feel secure. Something does not feel secure right now. It needs the boundaries and the limits. It needs the umbrella. It needs the protection, and it's not getting it. It's not protected right now. It's vulnerable. And then we have, in your environment, we have Seven of Pentacles. So there's a situation that's just kind of stopped. Like, it's not harvestable. Nothing's ripe. It's this, the sand dollars are giving me the beach idea. You know, the sand goes out. The dollars hopefully stay in your little bucket. But if your bucket's just sand, that's all that's going to go out. You know, it's something that's not secure. It's not being held. And so here we have this this shovel. The work has stopped. Again, we are getting that message. There's no work right now, or there's nothing to do right now. There's nothing to be done except wait. So that's the environment. The environment is like this patient waiting period, impatient, watching and waiting for an opportunity. And so it's frustrating, I think, because the Seven of Pentacles is just someone's either being very patient, someone's waiting, something stopped, something can't be harvested, something's not where you want it to be. You'd like to not worry about it, except for this thing is not, or this person or this situation is not, it's not harvestable. Is it moving? We don't know, right? Like most fruit, when you're watching it ripen, you can't watch it ripen. It's just something that happens in its own time period, and you can't, a watched pot never boils. So that's what the Seven of Pentacles is giving me. A watched pot never boils. And there's not a lot of active work to be done right now in the environment. It's just this sort of wait and see what happens next and how this all unfolds, because we don't know with the Seven of Pentacles. We're just waiting and seeing how things unfold. And so something is developing. It's developing very slowly. It's not, we can't really see the fruits of the labors right now. If someone else is working on something, we can't really see what's going on right now. There is this sense of feeling very vulnerable and unprotected, though, out of this whole thing, and having to deal with this devil energy, maybe a thief, maybe something very difficult, but it's causing you to be, this devil energy is causing you to be very insecure, or just this devil. It could be a person that's very bothersome and troublesome to you, and you feel very insecure. But you have to wait and see. There's not a way to like push this forward. There's not a way to like run ahead and see how this is all going to play out. You just like, okay, we just got to wait and see. Your to-do list, Ace of Cups. That is so fascinating. Starting a new relationship. Yeah, it's like meeting new people, finding things you love. Yeah, I love this. This deck is so fun. This cup of coffee, going in to have coffee with someone, maybe someone new, maybe someone you knew at some point. It is this like newness in the midst of sort of this difficulty. So yeah, go have coffee with someone. Go reach out to someone. Start a new relationship, a new friendship. Connect with somebody else. But it's a new connection. And you're meant to sort of explore new emotional territory. Go in very hopeful. Like, even though there are these dark storm clouds around, you're going to have this cup of coffee with somebody, even though there's all this stuff, this difficult stuff going on. You're coming in to have some coffee and trust that this situation, respect it. Maybe it's even a little bit of a difficult thing or a new part of a relationship or something, but, protecting yourself, being cautious, having boundaries, but that doesn't mean don't go forward, right? So if we're emerging out of this storm and out of these difficulties, we're going forward, but it's one step at a time. We don't even know if there's a second step. There's one step. That's all we're doing. One step here. In a relationship, one thing. And it seems like it's new. Don't forget your boundaries, right? We're coming out of this storm period. We're bringing our umbrella. We're not leaving the umbrella at home just because we decided to have one coffee with one person. We're bringing the umbrella. It is like there is a sense of having a connection with somebody. And going towards that and being emotionally available, but there's this balance. There's a balance about the emotional availability. You want to be balancing that with this protection. You don't want to be like completely unprotected. Yeah, there's a cautious first step here in a friendship, a relationship, or something like that. A cautious first step with some new feelings and some emotions. That's what it seems like. And I think past experience has you being cautious. And something that's just been a little difficult for you, there may be a little breakthrough, a small breakthrough in something that's caused you problems and difficulties, and caused you to feel vulnerable, overly vulnerable before. There's a little bit of an emotional breakthrough here. So a new way of dealing with something, a new way of dealing with your emotions here. And then possible outcome is King of Cups. So this could be you just developing a lot of emotional maturity, I would say, with the boundaries and the limits, that mixed with trust of like the emotional maturity of how to relate to people while also respecting your own boundaries and creating boundaries. A lot of emotional maturity comes out of this, though. Going on this new journey, this new emotional journey, I think you integrate maybe some new ideas or some new feelings, some new ways to manage trust and upset, trust and difficulty, trust and anger, some new ways to manage all of that. That are going to be really healthy. I think the other thing is, if this Ace of Cups is about meeting someone and meeting with someone, I think the person that you're meeting with is going to prove themselves to be very emotionally mature, very steady, very able. We have this little otter with this cup of coffee, right? You're having this cup of coffee, maybe you're even bringing someone some coffee, and they're able to handle that. They're not going to take advantage of that. They're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I must be the, the best thing since sliced bread. They're able to handle this. They're in the water. They are emotional. They are able to be part of their emotional body. They are, they're, they're in the water, and they are a master at dealing with emotion. So this could also be seeking therapy. This would be your therapist. This would be you either getting a new therapist or going to therapy for the first time, something like that. Starting a new emotional journey where you're dealing with your emotions. You might have a lot of anger. You might have a lot of frustration. This would be someone that you're working with. This would be someone that you're building trust with. Now, not all therapists are built the same. So you definitely don't have to go with the first one. You don't have to just trust everybody. You can do, you can suss it out, but it's something, if there's something that's been bothering you, if you feel like an exorbitant amount of anger that's been very difficult and uncontrolled a little bit, it could be time for you to seek some therapy, because it looks like the situation isn't changing rapidly. So if you're feeling anger and frustration about a situation, it's time to bring it to someone's attention and start a new emotional journey, and maybe seek. This is sort of like, this reminds me of Chariot energy, like moving forward, but with someone else. There's cooperation. This is actually reminding me of Three of Pentacles, getting expert help. This one's they're both providing protection in their own way. This one's a little more aggressive, and this one's a little more of a shield against sort of the natural storms of life. And I think that's what this King of Cups is for you, is this shield against these storms of life. And so you may want to seek out, it's a new emotional journey. Something's uncontrolled, and maybe there's insecurity here too. So it's not necessarily that, but it is something. And maybe you just need to talk to someone else that can handle it. Maybe it's not officially a therapist. But I mean, just a reminder, your friends aren't therapists. They have janky ass lives too, that they don't always have the best advice or the latest best practices in like how to handle things like boundaries, right? Boundaries, for my generation, boundaries were a totally new concept that when I first heard about them, I was like, what is that? That sounds scary. Like, and it's an essential, necessary part of every relationship. So, and makes the relationship between two people and not between two people's expectations of whoever's in their lives. You know, it's just like this is what I want, and you say that, and you hold that. So there's something about that, but maybe boundaries are a new emotional journey for you. Maybe that's this new cup of coffee, this warm cup of coffee you're sipping is about boundaries. And it turns out other people are able to handle them maybe better than you think. Even though they do feel emotions too, they really can understand the whole like concept of, boundaries. Ooh, the fence here. Good fences make good neighbors. The boundaries. Interesting. Okay, so we have runes from our auspicious symbols. Runes. Look for inspiration, validation, and messages through written words and symbols. So maybe you need to read a new book. Maybe it's a self-help book. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else. But reading up on something, finding out about something, and maybe that is about boundaries, understanding them better, making safe spaces, really safe. So yeah, reading up on something could be messages coming in, could be just, reading. You're going to find some inspiration, validation through some sort of written word. And then scarab beetle. The scarab shares the power of healing, protection, and positive cycles. So this is the beginning of a new cycle, right? A new journey. So this is like that rebirth, the new cycle. Beginning a new cycle of learning, perhaps, of mastery of something, maybe beginning a new relationship or a new level of your relationship that contains good boundaries. I love the scarab beetle. Scarab beetle is one of my favorite symbols. All right, and then we're going to do a feather. Pick a feather. Let's do this feather. Crane. Oh, here's the feather. And here's the bird. So, last little message here. You will soon enter into a beneficial partnership. Luck and longevity bless this union. Together, you're going to be working together with someone. Luck and longevity bless this union. Beautiful. I like that. It's a very emotionally mature relationship with somebody, and I don't necessarily see it as being romantic, but it is mutually beneficial. So beautiful, beautiful. But don't forget your boundaries, even though it's all fun and nice and lovely. All right. Well, I love y'all. Have a great week.